mchangizi here with your Science Moment. Today I'm going to talk about binocular vision and the kinds of powers that it has, but I'm not really going to get so much into those powers, but instead try to get artists to utilize some of those powers in their art. And perhaps, in fact, they have done, which I'll mention at the end. So when people think of binocular vision, they tend to think that it's all about stereo vision, all about 3D and 3D movies. But one of the things that I've argued in my research is that it's really about seeing through things, seeing through the leaves out in the world. That's why the animals have evolved forward-facing eyes. So one of the most evocative things in your life is when you're up close and personal with your loved one. So you might imagine that, your loved one, imagine you're kissing them and holding them, and you've got their head here, and you see their eyes and so forth. I'm not an artist. I can't do this. This is why I'm going to suggest real artists do this kind of thing. This is not what you see when you're up and close and personal with somebody that you love. Because what you in fact see is multiple copies, 2 copies of your loved one. How nice for you. You get to see 2 copies of them. They're up close and personal. You might see this as your right eye view of them, and one big eye over here and another eye that's off of the camera. And then the other, your left eye, then sees something like this, the same, and maybe their eye there, you're seeing one of their other eyes over here and the other one is over here. And you'll get 2 copies, just like when you look into the distance and hold your finger in front of you, you'll see 2 copies of your finger, you'll see 2 copies of their face. And the parts of their face of these 2 copies that are semi-transparent, when they overlap, this part will be opaque, through which you can't see anything, and these parts will be semi-transparent, through which you see the world beyond. That's actually what it's like to see when you're up close to somebody. All of your nearby vision, when you have binocular vision, is seeing multiple things, not one thing. So if you want to render something in the arts, and you don't have a virtual reality goggles that people are going to wear, you don't want to just do a single image of what you're showing. You need to try to render 2 of them, and do it in such a way that it somehow imparts this, even though the viewer is only seeing it with one eye. How do you do that effectively? I don't know. I'm not an artist. But artists are amazing at harnessing the human brain and the evocative natural instincts that we have. I suspect that Picasso and some of these kinds of things are already doing this, and why they're so evocative is because they, in fact, are doing this unbeknownst to them. They may not have done it on purpose, but that's what it's hitting. So I'm suggesting to you that if you're an artist, can you build something like this for me that evokes these sorts of feelings that you get when you're up close and personal with your loved ones, and does it on one piece of paper to both eyes at the same time, rather than using stereo tricks. It's very tricky, but I have confidence in you.